4 months ago yesterday, the Rapidan Dam failed, marking a historic event in southern Minnesota.
Flooding followed the breach of the dam, but since then, water levels have dropped significantly, making it easier for debris to be spotted. Nikki Hallman has the details.
The aftermath of this summer's rainfall and dam failure are now showing significantly, and locals are witnessing the extreme devastation right in front of them.
When you look at it, you just wonder, how can this recover? You know, there's so much destruction.
Friends Jennifer Hildebrandt and Patrick Baskfield enjoy getting outdoors. Just a couple of weeks ago, as they were kayaking down the Minnesota River, entering at the Kiwanis Recreation Area, they soon came across more than banked trees.
As we'd be floating along, we'd just see a life jacket hanging off a tree, or like I said, something that looked like a large water softener. It was a big cylindrical object just banked on the side of the river.
Patrick is a retired hydrologist and coordinator for the Watershed Pollutant Load Monitoring Network, a statewide river monitoring program. He has also lived in southern Minnesota for the past 27 years, making for quick conclusions after the dam's failure.
We found dead fish, and certainly everything was very, very impacted. A lot of sediment, a lot of low oxygen, and a lot of water.
Patrick explained how the rivers have grown wider due to the recent floods, as well as changes to the wildlife.
Wide, shallow rivers that aren't very good for biology from a recreational standpoint. They're tough to kayak. The species diversity and the amount of fish and invertebrates that goes down tremendously. So it's just it's not as rich a system as it could be.
While kayaking, Patrick and Jennifer came across buoys from the Rapidan Dam, which had traveled 20 miles downstream. The Department of Natural Resources says when it comes to the debris cleanup, it all depends on location and ownership.
Don't put yourself at risk to remove the debris, but it generally falls on the landowner or the property owner in the case of a bridge.
Although there are no plans in place for cleaning large debris out of the rivers, the hope is to bring them back to life.
Right now it seems like a big question mark. It almost seems too overwhelming to think, how can we do something? But we have to start small, I guess.
Nikki Hallman, KEYC News Now.
The DNR says if you come across debris, you can contact the local sheriff's office or police department.